most people who are buying gold and silver are patriots. And I think that's probably true for Canada as well. People who buy gold and silver in Canada are probably patriots. And definitely the truckers, the organized truckers who were protesting peacefully, they're also patriots.
You're helping out someone next to me with quarters.
Yes.
Are you gonna clean them out?
I want
That's all I can spare to go out the door.
Wait, what?
That's all. I have other commitments, and I probably don't have enough to meet those commitments. Orders I've already taken.
Goodness. Well, maybe I guess I won't be getting quarters. How about maples? Do you have those?
I still have some.
You still buy maples?
See, here's the question, okay? I'm pretty ticked off with what's going on north of the border here and the tyranny that we're seeing with this not just Trudeau.
The rest of the police state.
Thank you. Yes, the police state. I'm upset with what they ratified the other day. I'm upset with the chief of police and what his remarks were, how they're tracking down what they call insurgents and a whole bunch of other bad names, trying to find them, freezing their accounts. It's crazy, and I'm really struggling with finishing off my Canadian maple monster box. I got 2 tubes left to go, and I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
I've had people call me and say, I'm going to buy some gold maple leafs to support the truckers. Okay?
Okay.
They assume that if Trudeau is as far left as he is, he probably has no interest in gold and silver. Okay? Because most people who are buying gold and silver are patriots. And I think that's probably true for Canada as well. People who buy gold and silver in Canada are probably patriots. And definitely the truckers, the organized truckers who were protesting peacefully, they're also patriots. And I'm a little surprised at Trudeau. I think
You're surprised?
He's expecting a lynching, isn't he? Sooner or later.
Well, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, he should be.
Well, considering his bloodline.
Oh. You mean the Latin American bloodline?
Yeah. No, I don't want to make fun of those that have a conviction and a conscience that says that they can't stack Canadian maple leafs out of protest. It's a boycott, basically, that I've heard several people in our community say that they're not buying Royal Canadian Mint products.
I started the day with 2 monster boxes, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 tubes left out of 2 monster boxes. So I think most people don't care about Trudeau. They care about taking care of themselves and their finances.
The other thought is, and I think I shared this with you over text, I said I could probably come up with a just cause to boycott almost any sovereign mint in the world.
Well, you don't like the Queen to start with.
Well, that's true. But the maple is so beautiful. But I mean, what happens if it comes here? Or, as you said, it started here. But seriously, what if we see what's going on happen on our soil, the tyranny? I mean, are we not going to stack American Eagles?
Well, I think the truckers who are converging on Washington are using a little more common sense than the truckers did up there. They have I don't think they have any intention of going to the Capitol building, okay? Because the terms like insurgent and domestic terrorists, I mean, they were all vetted by the Democrats in the Congress, like specifically Nancy Pelosi. So I think they'll just travel around the loop, was it 395? Is that what it is down there? And really upset things. Yeah, there's nothing like a slow-moving line of trucks to piss people off on the highway. This could be very interesting. And as they, travel from California, they're picking up more and more trucks along the way. So that should be very interesting. And what are they going to do? Tow them all away? Where are they going to put them? In an impound in D.C.? I think it'll be better organized than Canada. I mean, Canada, I'm not surprised that the officials bore down on these people, but I am surprised at some of the personal attacks. And how they all thought it was really funny that a woman got run over by a horse, pummeled. That the guy who was a refugee from Romania, I think he was, that they kicked probably 100 times. It's just, that stuff doesn't belong anywhere.
Right.
And I'm a little disappointed that stuff is going on out there. All the police, I think they think they're hockey players or something.
So your thoughts on a boycott on Royal Canadian Maple Leaf coins?
It's that's the best source of gold and silver that I have.
Those are all spoken for, right?
They are, and I don't have enough to meet the orders. So.
Oh my goodness! Why are people buying constitutional silver?
It's
not my fault, is it?
It's already currency.
Absolutely.
And probably will never be confiscated.
Good point.
So if you're going to take people's constitutional silver, you might as well take it all. Get all the state quarters while you're at it. In fact, if they came in here looking for my constitutional silver, they'd get state quarters.
I'm not ready to boycott them yet, but I'm still upset. Still gonna get them.
Well, the only way we can get these things is if you put them on a truck.
Good point. All right, thanks a lot, Tim. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Country formerly known as Ukraine.
All right, so we got a lot of conversation
Lying
going on
economies
here
in the
about
world.
Ukraine and Russia.
Italy.
Tim, I want to hear your thoughts again on. Well, first of all, I want you to say that Yankee was right. They did actually go in.
No, they didn't. He did not invade. And all he did was he recognized the sovereignty of those two provinces where the Ukraine army has killed 14,000 people. Okay. Now the number of people who have fled into Russia is up to 100,000 now. Okay. And now if you thought you were being invaded by this country, would you stand and fight, or would you go join the invader? I mean, people are getting the wrong impression about this whole deal. This has been going on for 7 years, actually 8 years. When they had to meet, Ukraine and Russia, France and Germany and Belarus, they had to meet in Minsk to come up with some agreement about what to do about these two provinces. Originally, when they had a referendum, they were sold by the oligarchs who run the parliament on the idea that Ukraine was going to join the European Union. And, the key to the European Union is they issue what's called a Europass to the citizens, okay? Then with the Europass, you can go to any other European country, any other member of the European Union. After taking all the refugees they took, from other countries in the Middle East, do you think they want all the Ukrainians from the country that has probably the most corrupt government in the history of Europe? And that's saying a lot, because they've had lots of corrupt governments. It's a country that's run by oligarchs. When they started out, they offered everybody self-determination. You elect your own representatives to the parliament. And when Lugansk and Donetsk elected all Russian-speaking and Russian descent representatives, they refused to seat them. This goes all the way back to 2014, okay? That's when they all got together in Minsk and they came up with agreements, bing, 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 7 or 8 points of agreement. One of which was these two provinces that are Russian-speaking, it's probably like 80%, get to elect their own representatives, okay? So they had more elections, and Parliament refused to seat them, okay? So what has Putin been saying for the last 7 years? Implement the Minsk agreements. There are two of them, Minsk Protocol and Minsk II. And Actually, Germany's been saying the same thing. France has been saying the same. Macron went around and visited with everybody. Couldn't get anywhere in Ukraine. Okay, Schultz came here, and he let Biden go ahead and say, "Well, we're going to shut down Nord Stream 2." And then he had second thoughts because Biden can't really shut down Nord Stream 2. So they stopped issuing permits for Nord Stream 2. The Germans did, Schultz did. But the pipeline that's active is still there. It's still feeding gas to Germany. It's not something they can do without. But anyway, it came right down to the fact that the Ukraine army and their mercenaries, because there are lots of mercenaries there that are fighting the battle for them, because then they can say, "Oh no, those are separatists from Russia that are causing the trouble." Well, let's see. The separatists are here, and the Ukraine army's there. And why are they bombing a village there? The separatists, would they be bombing that thing behind them? No, they're defending themselves, actually. And when it got to the point where the bombing got too much, that's when they started evacuating people into Russia. Okay, so they got together. The separatists, so-called separatists, formed the People's Republic of Donetsk and the People's Republic of Lugansk. Okay, and they set up their own governments. They have, everything that you need to run a country is in place. And so, all they needed was recognition. And that's all that Putin did. He didn't have to invade. He granted them recognition of their sovereignty, both places.
How did he do it?
By decree.
And what actions did he take?
Well, they have invited him in to set up a defensive perimeter. And the reason for that is that the skirmish line is right now in both the provinces, okay? So basically what the Russians are going to do, they're going to drive up to the border and, peacefully push that skirmish line back to their borders. Because right now it's probably several hundred kilometers inside of Donetsk and Lugansk.
So you're saying they are peacekeeping tanks?
I don't know. But here's the deal. If the Ukraine army attacks them, Russia has the right to respond. Okay?
Did they cross the border, though?
They were asked to come in and set up a defensive perimeter.
All right, you were saved by the bell there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wrap this conversation up with this question. Actually, it's a question to the viewers. Was it an invasion or an invitation?
Well, definitely an invitation.
Okay, put in the comments below what you think.